name is Martin and welcome back to another video. This is James.
You alright?
Star sign, James?
Capricorn.
How old are you? We don't care. Eye colour? We don't care. Favourite colour?
Blue.
Blue. Okay, blue. Walk with me. So we're here back on the Manchester Bury Canal to look at the some more interesting things along this little stretch that we've been looking at. We've looked at the old steam crane, we've looked at the breach, and now we're going to look at some locks and some bridges. And we're suspended on a bridge now above the River Irwell with no sides on it, James. It's a bit precarious. What we're going to do, take a look at this. There's no edge, there's no edge. Anyway, let's crack on. We'll go up the canal and we'll start the video. Ready?
Let's go.
Let's go. Run, James, run. Okay, so where are we this week? Well, if we zoom in on Google Earth, we're in a familiar place. We're actually on the Manchester Bury Canal and we're at Knob End. There you go. Nearest village over here is Little Lever over here. But we're taking a look this week at Knob End. If you want to be posh, it's Prestolee. Now we're just going to look at the locks here on the Manchester Bury Canal. There's the canal, and we've got a set of disused locks here. Got a basin there, and we've got some old bridges there we're going to take a look at. How does this relate to the other videos we've done on the Manchester Bury Bolton Canal? Well, we're just further down from the breach that was there. Remember, if you watched that video, 1936, the whole canal came crashing down the embankment into the river, and then just up this way, further up this way, was the old steam crane that we did on the first video. But there you go, that's the area we're looking at this week, and we're going to start here at the top of the locks, and we're going to look at a bridge, and then we'll look at the locks, and then we'll go down here and look at this area. Now, if it was a normal canal full of water, I think it'd be nothing, wouldn't be a major thing, would it? But because it's derelict, it's kind of like got its own beauty, hasn't it? Well, the first thing we're going to show you is, and the locals will know it, the Meccano Bridge. The Meccano Bridge, I think it was built in 2012. Bit of a split opinion on it, whether people like it or not. Personally, I like it. James, your thoughts?
Like it.
You like it?
Yeah, it's cool.
And it's actually, well, it's not real Meccano, but it's Meccano pieces scaled up. I think there's only a few bits and bobs that they had to sort of adapt for the bridge. Done by an artist, and I'll give you the name of the artist now. Like I say, 2012, but I really...
Yeah?
I think it adds, I think in another 50 years time, I think people will know what it is and recognise what it is. It's one of those things, it has to mature, doesn't it?
Adds colour.
It certainly adds colour, you're right. You're such a connoisseur of bridges, aren't you? How long have you had this thing with bridges?
I don't know, since day one.
Oh, what you don't know about bridges. So this is the wooden bridge that the Meccano Bridge replaced. And also I've got a cracking shot of the Meccano Bridge being built. Now, it was built from kit form by many local volunteers, many of which came from the Manchester Bury Bolton Canal Society. And somebody called Jen that I was chatting to sent me a cracking photo of the Meccano Bridge being built. This is the one here. You can also see that the picnic tables nearby are also made from Meccano. I think that's brilliant. The canal is about to go into a famous set of locks now, the Knob End locks.
What'd you call me?
Not you, the locks, although you are. Otherwise known as the Prestolee locks. The company, the canal company, preferred them to be called the Prestolee locks because Knob End was seen to be a little bit uncouth. But here the canal now drops down levels down to a basin at the bottom here, and at the bottom of here as well we're getting closer to the River Irwell. At this point, and I'll show you in a moment, the canal split one way to Bury, one way to Bolton. Okay, so let's just take a look at the area on the side-by-side maps, courtesy of National Libraries of Scotland. Right hand map is a satellite view, modern day view. Left hand map is an old map from, it's dated 1892 to 1914. I'm looking at the left, you can glance over at the right just to see how it looks today. But this is what we've got. So there's the canal. Canal comes down here, right? We've been talking up here around the Meccano Bridge, and the canal comes down here, down the locks. All right. it says Prestolee locks, which I suppose is their official name. Knob End is much more funnier, but it is called Knob End, the area. So there's the locks, all right. Now, I just want to show you this split. So you came this way along the canal from Manchester and Salford. You came across the aqueduct, which we'll show you in a bit. You came into a basin here. We've got a basin there. We'll be looking at that. You swung this way, up here, and up your locks there. And then you either carried on down there to Bury, or you took a sharp left here, this way to Bolton. So we're actually at the split here, where the canal splits to Bury and Bolton. There you go, there's the top basin, all dried up now. Behind the camera, you go onwards to Bury, and then you can see the sharp left turn there that we're on now, and you go under that bridge and you go onwards to Bolton. Or you would if there was any water in it. Alas, it's all gone. And there you go, there's the view from the top of that bridge onwards to Bolton. Well, come and take a look at this. Look at this, James. Behold the Knob End locks. The Knob End locks, or the Prestolee locks, were arranged in 2 staircases of 3 locks. They raised the canal 64 feet over a distance of 200 yards. We came here last summer, in the height of last summer, and it was completely overgrown, hence we've come here now at the end of March to try and capture it so you can actually see something. But it's quite eerie when you think of all the activity that would have been here. Boats at the bottom, boats at the top here in the basins waiting to go through, people shouting at one another, loads of coal waiting to go up one way, go back down to Salford and Manchester. How long have you been there? Come on! I think that's what it would have been like.
Yeah.
I think it would have been, actually. Horses everywhere. We're going to go down there and you can just see just how deep it would have been. He's quite tall. What are you?
6'2".
6'2". So we'll go down there and you can see where it comes to on James. Run, James, run! What are you? Yeah. So about his height, isn't it? Well, you can see it's dressed stone for a start. We're looking for mason's marks, but it's here at the locks that you see just how intricate everything became. Look how they've had to channel that out there. Can you see that? They've had to channel that out there, probably for a gate or something. And then everything considered, something bolted into the side of the locks there. Oh yes, well done, well done. So there you go, there's a mason's mark.
It's here.
Like a star there. And a T there. Well spotted, James. You know what they're for?
To mark what rock goes in which place?
No. So you would have had stonemasons working alongside of the canal, cutting these blocks of stone.
Yeah.
Right? Many stonemasons, right?
So see which one to do, which one.
Yeah, they got paid by how many they've done.
Ah, right.
So when he's done, when the guy who does the stars piles them all up, you count how many stars he's done that day.
And then he gets paid for that.
And he gets paid for that, yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing that gets me as well about this canal is that the puddled clay that lines the bottom will still be here, so this will probably still hold water. I mean, it won't now because it lost all its water back in 1936 at the breach, but despite all this silt and all this earth that's here now, it's basically a garden now for weeds. That puddled clay will still be, the lining will still be on the bottom, and in fact parts of it are still quite marshy. How many frogs have we seen?
Yeah.
Loads of frogs mating because it's this time of year, and obviously they like it because it's still moist, the ground is still nice and moist. And you see part of the infrastructure still there, all the railings still there, the steps are there and everything. Imagine the people that ran up and down there. There's got to be original railings, these, surely. And of course here at the top of the locks you've got the ever looming threat, as we now know, of the River Irwell. Again, about 100 foot down there in the valley. Come and look at this.
So when I say the ever looming threat, what I mean is the whole canal is perched on the side of a valley, and the looming threat is that of landslides, which happened before.
Look at that down there. I don't know if it shows you on camera or if you can tell on camera, but the Irwell is deep down there in the valley, and the steepness of that, look at that. You can just see it through the trees there, or you might be able to. And look how high we are. You could get on a boat at Bolton and take a day out on a packet boat all the way down to Salford. Day out, and it got priority, I think, over the goods boats. You know, the boats carrying coal, because it was kind of like seen as an express type thing.
Yeah.
People would pay early 1800s and sail all the way into Manchester, and that was a day out that you could have. So I imagine most of the day they used to leave very early in the morning, about 8 in the morning. I'll have to look up the times for you, and they would have a schedule to hit Salford. And of course you could stop off at Margaret Barlow's tea rooms for a pot of tea.
Yeah.
So this is the lower basin. You're looking towards Salford there now, over the Prestolee Aqueduct, which I'll show you. There would have been boats queuing here and everything, and just there where I've pointed is the entrance to the knob end locks. As you see, this is the approach to them. All overgrown now, obviously, and we run out of water at this point, but still quite impressive from this point of view.
Another interesting thing I want to show you, there was some mines in this area here. In fact, still on the old maps, the old shafts are still marked, and there's a little bridge here that we think the boats went through to go into another basin to load up with coal. And there it is, and like I say, boats would load up with coal.
Okay, so this is quite an old map of the area. This dates back to 1850. There's the locks we just looked at. There's our basin, and I just pointed out to you that there's a spur, there's a bridge here, isn't there, and there's a spur going that way, and that spur looks like it went up there and then down this way, long since gone. We understand that we think this somewhere around here was a dry dock, and you'll see there's coal pits, so we're guessing that spur fed, took coal from these coal pits onto the canal boats and obviously onwards. Doesn't name the pits. They must have been really basic, very old pits, really unnamed. But we're going to have a look in this area. So from the basin, we're going to have a look in this area just to see if we can see in any indentations at all of this canal spur and the dry dock, and we'll see if we can see any evidence of the coal pits. So incredibly, in all the scrub, we found a wall, and that's the edge of the canal. There's the wall there. You can just see it at the top of the screen, and those big blocks on the ground there, we think that's evidence of the dry dock. We think boats would have come in there, and they would have rested on there, and then the water would have been drained away down to the Irwell, and then they would have sat on top of those to be maintained. But yes, look at that wall, that edge there. That is the remains of that old dry dock and that old spur. And then what of the pits, the shafts? Well, here's one of them. This will be very, very precarious. This is little fenced off areas like this are always suspicious. I'm guessing down there's a shaft, and it won't be capped with concrete, put it that way. There's probably some dodgy covering over it, and that's why you see it fenced off like this. But yes, the evidence that was on those maps, the evidence is still there. You can still find the old canal wall, and you can still find evidence of those shafts.
Now, allegedly, over at the entrance to the locks over there's still some boats sunk. We stood at the edge of the locks there, and we couldn't see anything in the murky depths of the canal. But I think if it ever got drained, there are actually boats still sat there. So at this point now, from the basin, the canal goes over the Prestolee Aqueduct.
I'll just show you a view off the bridge now. There's 3 bridges here. 2 of them are beautiful. One of them is a bit of an abomination. You've got the Prestolee Aqueduct. You've got an old packhorse bridge just over there, which you couldn't see because in the middle of them both, some bright spark decided to build a bridge that carries a sewer pipe. However, that bridge with the sewer pipe on, with no railings on, that you're not supposed to go on, will give us a beautiful view of the Prestolee Aqueduct. So let's head on to the Abomination Bridge and we'll see what we can see. So there's the Packhorse Bridge, absolutely beautiful. Get some details on that, but someone is allowing us to go on this one. I think I was a bit fat last time and there was this wasn't as wide, was it?
Couldn't get through last time.
Can you tell me why in the middle of 2 beautiful bridges you would build this thing that carries a sewer main? They could have just diverted it just somewhere elsewhere. But it does give you a good view of the Prestolee Aqueduct anyway. The Prestolee Aqueduct was built 1793. Some sources say early 1790s, but 1793 is the date I've got, for the sole purpose of carrying the Manchester Bolton Bury Canal over the River Irwell. It's odd to me because you've got the stone, but then you've got the brick-lined arches, which are quite odd. 1793, and I'm still absolutely blown away that they could hold up the River Irwell and build that thing using probably cofferdams and, you know, divert it to one side and put the foundations in required to build such a massive structure. If you look at that, if that brick is later, because if you look, there is a stone liner around the arch. There's actually a stone keystone in there as well. I wonder if the brick came later, because the wall above, or the wall above us there, has been repaired with brick. So I wonder if that's a later liner on the bridge. Not sure. And then of course you've got here, you've got the Packhorse Bridge. Ooh, no railings on this thing. I don't think we were supposed to be on it, but look at that. Oh, nice one. Cheers, pal. Okay, so the Packhorse Bridge is even older than the Prestolee Aqueduct. So it says here, and thanks to Tom for finding me this, it says the total span is 53 yards and the width between the parapets is slightly over 5 feet. This bridge was built between the years 1781 and 1803 in place of a wooden one. And it goes on to say that as a Packhorse Bridge, it's quite a late one because I think some of them date back like hundreds of years, don't they? It's a hot day.
Yeah.
Shall we stop at Margaret Barlow's for tea?
Could do.
Brew?
Brew.
Brew indeed. Have you brought all the gear for a brew?
Yeah, truckload.
Truckload. Make that brew, boy. Have you brought food?
Yeah.
What have you brought?
Let's have a look.
Are we going European?
We're going
Oh,
English.
right. Oh, Battenbergs, I see the reduced there. Reduced to £1.10. Classy.
Still expensive.
Classy, yeah. So Battenbergs, I thought they were French fancies. You do know I'm on a calorie control diet at the minute. I've been putting on a lot of weight. I think you need to watch it as well. We're having a high level brew today. High above the Irwell. In the company of some good bridges. Battenberg at Knob End. It couldn't be any better, could it? You can tell they're reduced, can't you?
You can.
A bit musty. Right, what's this arch you've spotted?
I don't know, just over there.
Right, you spotted an arch off the bridge. We'll go and take a look. That's interesting, isn't it? Full of water and it stops. Ah, all collapsed in. I'll put the camera in and show you. You have to go between my legs a minute.
Now I'm wondering if that over there is a sewer main, if that I'm sat on now was a sewer and it went across. I'll show you the other way. So you've got a sewer main there, but directly below me is that, and I'm wondering if that used to go across there and that was the sewer, and then they built a bridge. Good guess, Martin, because there it is. There was an older bridge carrying a sewer main, and this wonderful picture from Timepics shows it there. So it must have just been offset to the current bridge we've just been sat on having a brew. And I'm sat at the end, I was just sat at the end then of the old sewer. But this wonderful picture, like I say, shows the old bridge carrying the sewer main. Much more in keeping, for me personally, much more in keeping with the other bridges. So why they had to build the flipping suspension type concrete thing, I don't know. And if you look at the old maps here, these maps go back to like 1888. You'll see the sewer main crosses even on this map as well. So that original bridge has been there for a long time. They've obviously pulled it down at some point and put the newer suspension bridge up. What have you found there?
A big nail?
Yeah, that is old, isn't it?
It is old.
Put it against over there. Is it metal?
Yeah.
That's very, yeah. So we're looking for a way to try and get down there by the riverbank to get a nice ground level shot of the Prestolee Aqueduct if we can. That fence is old.
Quite eerie,
Brick lining again there. Ah, there's a path going down. Looking quite clear, that water, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. There's little drops.
No fish we can see though. Enfield Plastic Accrington. So there you go, some extra bits of the Manchester Bolton Bury Canal I wanted to show you. Knob End Locks, the Meccano Bridge, and these wonderful two bridges, not the sewer main. Absolutely beautiful and a gorgeous day for it. So hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching from me and him. Take care. See you in the next one. Bye for now. What?
See you in a bit. Alright, give it out, take it away.
You still there? Now, I don't normally do this on my videos, but I thought I'd give you a bit of bonus material. And the reason why sometimes we go out for what we think is going to be 3 hours and we end up spending 7 hours out. Okay, so the next clip is his line was, I was going to say to him, have you got all the gear for a brew? And his line is, yeah, a truckload. That's all he's got to say. Have you brought all the gear for a brew?
I think shed load.
One more time. Oh, you brought all the gear for a brew?
I brought his van load. He's actually a van truck, right?
Oh, you brought all the gear for a brew, James?
A van load.
Truckload.
Okay.
Oh, you brought all the gear for a brew, James?
Truckload.
Truckload? Ready?
Yeah.
So we've just done the intro down there.
Yeah.
So, we're back on the Manchester Bolton Bury Canal. Is there anyone watching or listening? Now the Meccano Bridge is actually the gateway to the locks. The locks just start here, and it took the canal down to 64 foot. I've just read 64 foot. Now the Meccano Bridge is the gateway to a famous set of logs. Now the Meccano Bridge is the gateway to a famous set of locks round here that all the people around here know. The Knob End Lock.
Knob End Locks.
I'm having a trouble with my K's and my G's.
If you can't, I'll say it.
Now the Meccano Bridge is the gateway to the now the Meccano Bridge is a gateway to a famous set of logs round here. The fucking shit, aren't I?